So this is where I grew up. This is my old childhood home. That was once my window. That was once my window. Bedroom window, that is. No high-speed internet in those days. I drive around town, and everywhere there's a story to be told. I reminisce about attending Percy Mary Public School on Britannia Road. Speaking of days gone by, there's an old farmhouse on Tremaine Road in Milton. It can be spotted just south of the sharp curve, halfway between Britannia Road and Lower Base Line. The farm has been occupied for several years now, and it saddens me to imagine this house being demolished in the name of progress. It has such character, history, and a nearby pond with good fishing. Well, my friends, the Clark fishing day is done. And I was a little disappointing at the yield this year. I only caught one fish. It's almost 3 o'clock, so I gotta get my ass home and showered and get ready to check out Tommy Buick's birthday extravaganza. So, just so there's no dispute, this is the fish I caught today. And this is only his temporary dwellings until I transport him to the new Mattamy pond. So, I'm just gonna see if he's still kicking. Yeah, he doesn't have a lot of life, but anyway, that looks like it's a little bass or something. Maybe a trout? Is it a trout? I don't know. Hope he's okay though. He's feisty. He's feisty. He's okay. He's gonna be okay. So why is this Tremaine estate so significant to me? It was my childhood home for some 13 years. Watching it deteriorate, and the thought of it being bulldozed just breaks my heart. But there's more to this story. The plot line thickens. This is the front entrance where I would come home from school, and I was what was known as a latchkey kid, meaning that both of my parents worked, so when the school bus dropped me off, when I got to a certain age after daycare, I'd come home. And I would be greeted with the key for the door in the mailbox, which is now gone. But there was a mailbox there, and it had a list of all the chores that I had to do. And so I come in and play Nintendo for a little while and get to my chores. And so now I'm going to go venture down in the basement. And I hazard to guess that the fucking light works in here. There's going to be some fucking sketchy bullshit down here. Should I go down? It's scary, no? Oh, Jesus. Oh, I'm so scared. I don't want to get fucking attacked by anything. Oh, this is scary. It's down here, yo. Okay, that's good enough. That's good enough. There's fucking critters down there. I don't want to. Creepy. Well, rest assured, that basement is where I first dyed my hair crazy neon colors in my punk rock days. Yep, and that sink down there, that sink. We had well water, so we had to watch how much water we used, or else the well would run dry and we would smell. So, short showers during the summer. You know how we do. That property is now owned by Mattamy Homes Limited, which means its fate is sealed. The construction giant has bought a significant amount of land stretching all the way down to Dundas Street. If you travel these parts, you've no doubt seen a gigantic building just south of Derry Road. The Stellamar Advanced Manufacturing Facility, a subsidiary of Mattamy Homes, is a new concept in construction. Year-round, it steadily births pre-built houses with assembly line-like efficiency. Many conservation-minded people criticize single-family home builders such as Mattamy and their appetite for consuming land. Love it or hate it, there's no denying Mattamy's streamlined approach. So yeah, like I explained before, this is the dining room where we would enjoy all kinds of festivities. Now there are all kinds of remnants, animal feces, dead flies crunching under my feet, along with paint chips as I walk. This is like the living room. I have a beautiful wood stove here, and yeah, all kinds of elaborate, eccentric features. You know, like horns on the wall. You know, a Papasan chair over here. And remember getting drug talk from my mom. You know, Ryan Smith and I sitting down on the couch here with our crazy fucking raver pants, getting ready to go out. And the last thing Mom said to me was, "Now, I want you boys to have a good time, but don't do the acid. Stay away from the acid. Don't touch the acid." And that's what she said. And I don't recall if I followed her advice/instructions in particular that night, but nevertheless, the values she instilled in me continue to this day, and I remember having that talk right there. Ryan Smith will back me up. I've since purchased my own home in the Hawthorne Village neighborhood. Ironically, the builder was, you guessed it, Mattamy Homes. I'm very pleased with my new suburban lifestyle, but the bumpkin in me still occasionally craves the rural life. I'm content living in Mattamyville, as my semi-detached house gives me great comfort. We had a beautiful hot tub that was installed right here. And yeah, it's a beautiful view of the road. And look out the window, you can see that big old tree there was where I had a treehouse built. And this was a project that my stepdad Grant and my dad had banded together to build me this really awesome treehouse, with the assistance of Terry Wilson, of course, who's my godfather, another awesome guy. He just got on Facebook, by the way, or he just got on the internet, the computer, so you can look him up too. So yeah, that was where the jacuzzi was. And this here is the moon room, which my mom was a professor over at York University, and she would have all kinds of parties, and she would have students over, and one of her students came when we moved in and put this beautiful, just bombed the hell out of this room with some wicked airbrushing artwork techniques, including some cool sort of jagged lines and parallel lines and kind of modern, I guess you might say. The big moon right here, which is why we called it the moon room. Holy shit. That scared the bejesus out of me. Did you see me shake there? Fucking birds. Ugh. That's sketchy. Ugh. That's weird. I thought there was like a fucking critter on me. Everything's okay, folks. Everything's okay. There are many more historical properties that will soon be erased from our town's landscape. This summer, I had the opportunity to contribute to this changeover. I put in 3 grueling weeks on a demolition site with local salvage and recovery company. If you think raising a barn is impressive, try tearing one down. Plank by plank, board by board. That's exactly what happened to the circa 1900 barn south of the Milton District Hospital. Bulldozers were circling the area like hungry vultures. Time was ticking, and the first task was the Great Purge. Over the years, the barn had become a dumping ground for pack rats, a storage spot for all manner of rubbish and collectibles. From hockey skates to furniture and even some artwork and memorabilia, it was 30 years of accumulated refuge, and I had to sort through it all. It became overwhelming and complicated at times. Aluminum, copper, wood, and miscellaneous wares were heaved into the appropriate container. In bulk, these materials can be quite valuable, so it all had to be meticulously sorted for proper disposal and recycling purposes. I scored a few unique artifacts, but not that long-lost Jackson Pollock painting I was hoping for. A week later, the barn was empty, and preparation was underway for its actual collapse. The choice lumber and boards had been removed, graded, and cleaned, meaning stripped of nails. This included rafters, beams, ceilings, joists that were all in still good shape. All that remained was a bare-bones structure, and I could hear it resisting gravity, creaking and groaning as it rocked in the wind. Carefully, and with great precision, the barn was nudged in the right direction, and after several sways, momentum took over. It all came crashing down, with blast force impact. This experience taught me a lot. I've learned to accept urban sprawl as being a part of life, like the decomposition of nature. Thankfully, this old barn will live on as furniture. Mattamy will build houses and neighborhoods to foster new families. It's a trite metaphor, but life really is a house. I've come to terms accepting the fate of my old home. I also take solace in hearing talks about the Wilfrid Laurier University establishing a campus on 150 acres of land here on Tremaine Road. Whatever the land is used for, I hope the new occupants appreciate the history of the area. I'm Ryan Clark with the Business and Construction Times.
Yeah.